IRA Roth. If you watch a student center, about 2 to 3 days before the exam, you'll see me answering questions from people who are going to take the exam in 2 to 3 days that still do not understand IRA or Roth, mostly IRA. I don't know why. And again, most of the people that are asking me these questions are in the business of giving advice to clients. So they've been through the education courses and they're giving advice to clients. But they still do not understand IRA deductibility. Is this going to be tested? Well, if they do not test IRAs or Roths, I don't know what test you're taking, and sure not the financial planning test. That's for sure. They've got to test IRA Roth. So, the big change is the numbers are given. You don't have to memorize the phase-outs. They're given. How do I feel about that? I probably would still want to memorize the phase-outs because it's faster. Instead of having to look them up, you just know them. Now, the CFP board never gets into phase-out. Never. They've never had a question, to the best of my knowledge, in phase-out. They're either under or over. Here is the problem. It's just what I said. People apply phase out first. No. Did you hear what I said? No. The first thing you apply is whether they're active or not. Don't apply phase out first. Do not do that. Look if they're active or not. And you say, well, Ken, it didn't say they were active or not. Then if it doesn't say they're active or not, then they're not active. That's the default. So, like on page 3 of tax, there's a question on calculating AGI. And you could go back and look at it, but the question is the IRA deductible? And the answer is yes, because it doesn't say the person is active. So, this man is named Tom Terrific. Tom Terrific owns a company called T to the 4th Power. T to the 4th Power is incredibly profitable, and Tom Terrific makes $4 trillion a year. Can Tom do a deductible IRA? Yeah, why? I never said he was active. I never said he was active. There's no phase out. Please look first if the person is active or not. And that's shown on deductibility or not in the IRA section. Notice to the left, first rule, not active. Deductible, no phase out. Tom Terrific. You remember Tom Terrific? You got it on the exam. Now, if it says they're active, and they will tell you they're active, then the phase out numbers come in. And the phase out numbers are all in the exam material. they will never be in the brackets. They'll be under or over, and they won't even be close. For married, if they're active, they'll be under 98,000. And if they're married and they're active, it'll be above 118,000. So they can't do a deductible IRA. There's some good questions in the pre-study that deal with that. You might go back and look at that. Okay, now we've worked these questions in class, so I just want to talk about the Roth phase out. This is interesting. And it led me to another question. I was looking at the board release phase outs for Roth. And surprisingly, they didn't have in the Roth phase outs for Roths married filing separately. Well, I know that they've been testing that, and you can see the questions that are there, and I've been using them because I've been very cautious about this married filing separately. But then I thought, why aren't they putting the married filing separately phase out in? Because they did put it in the IRA section, but they didn't put it in the Roth section. Well, I'm suspicious. I'm very suspicious of the CFP board and anything they do. A lot of my writing has to do with just trying to think what they're doing. I'm not stealing their questions. People do not talk to me about the questions on the exam. They talk to me in general. They may call me and say, gosh, Ken, they had 8 IRA questions on the exam. Well, I don't see any problems with that. That's a very general statement. It's not saying what they were. But then I wrote this very nasty question about married filing separately with separate maintenance agreement. So it's a dual problem here. This lady doesn't have any income. No income, no IRA. Now, with separate maintenance agreements, you can see that, I cover that is compensation. Oh, yes, it is. So she has compensation, but she's married filing separately, and that's how they file. So I did some additional research on this. You probably don't even know this. But there's an exception to married filing separately for Roth. But it's there in the answer. If they're married filing separately, and she did not live in his house at any time during the year, she's considered single. And therefore, she's not active, and she's not subject to phase out. Oh, wow. That's pretty technical, Ken. Granted. You know, I do expert witness cases, and boy, financial planners can get into a pack of trouble because they don't do enough research on some of these issues, and they tell clients things that can catch up with them. Never give a client an answer unless you're absolutely sure that that is absolutely correct. And here, married filing separately, this person can do a Roth contribution. So let's go back to the basic principle of IRA, because I don't want to leave it. The first thing you look for is whether they're active or not. Not active, no phase out. Active, phase out. Roth does not have active VAT. They just have to have compensation. Okay?